in business, and it's all business as far as I'm concerned. When you deal with the government, it's negotiating, right? You're negotiating for your life, you're negotiating terms, you're negotiating a whole bunch of stuff. Did you try, or could you negotiate? You're like, listen, you know what? I'm going to give you A, B, and C, right? But I'm giving up $20 million. Could you ask them for at least some of it, or can you negotiate the financial portion, or does Johnny Law come and say, the fucking money's gone, brother? You're lucky if you're keeping your life. How does that negotiation go in terms of the financial when cooperating?
Well, just look at Joe Messino. He forfeited $8 million and got to keep $14 million in real estate. I mean,
Right.
I was told
Bernie Madoff would have got to keep $2 or $3 million.
Yeah. I mean, it's all different depending on what district you're out of. The district I was from was they didn't once you made a deal with the government, they didn't come after you as far as monetarily speaking. They didn't come at. Now if there was forfeitures involved in the case and things like that, that's different. They could get waived. They could implement them, but they could, just say, okay, you got such and such a time, and then it goes away. So anything, but it all depends on the district. And yeah.
Well, you had a sizable forfeiture. You had a 7-figure forfeiture, correct?
Yeah, $2 million forfeiture. There was all kinds of, they went up to 10 million when they added up all the rackets.
Damn.
Yearly. They said it was a $10 million a year enterprise.
And you're like, wait a second, who's robbing from me?
who's robbing the public now? Right?
No, because I think they shortchanged us. I mean, I think it was more than that, to be honest.
You're like, 10 million, thank you. All right, so he's got a few more
Yeah,
questions.
we'll wrap this up. A very simple question here, because I know we'll probably do another interview, and I had fun on this one here. What was your favorite thing about being a made guy? The one thing that you could sit back and say, you know what, that was fun. When I got my button, that was a good time. I was happy with this scenario or this part of your life. What was the one thing that you could say was your favorite thing about being a made guy?
The best thing for me is, and somebody asked me this question on the other interview I did, was in my area, we were trying to keep it hush, quiet that I got made. Felix Tranghese knew, and I know he let it loose to Emilio Fusco. Had strong beliefs that I was made. I never admitted it to him. You get formally introduced to each other, and I never got formally introduced to Emilio. What I found out since I came home was I always said Bruno didn't know. And Tom, I told you this before, and you can't believe it, Bruno. But I found out this from a friend of mine here, and I said, Bruno, did he ever? We started talking, and he said, no, Bruno definitely found out. Like when I said we never told Bruno, but Bruno, and I could tell you stories of how he found out through bosses in New Jersey, the way they told him to treat me. They told him, listen, when you see that kid, you treat him like you would treat me. Now imagine a boss telling Bruno a message. So he just figured it out. But Bruno kind of knew. But the best thing for me, I would say, is outside my area, I got introduced to the bosses in Providence, Louis, Carmen from Boston, and all the captains, captains in the area, captains in Providence. And so when I was introduced, that was probably the best thing about being made, is that, you didn't have to go there and be like, yeah, I'm Anthony or whatever. It's like, I'm officially introduced as, and I'm the guy in the area. I'm being introduced as, the captain of our area, which is boss. So, I sat down with Louis. I sat down with bosses, Providence, Boston, and I've been in meetings in New York where they brought me around with bosses. So that was like the nicest thing. In the end of the day, did it mean anything? Yeah, it did, because when you get treated like that, when you go to Boston, when you go to Providence, there's opportunities, and now they know, they bring you the opportunities, whether it's legitimate business, whether it's anything. So it opens up the doors when it comes to that. So that was good.
That's cool.
So one thing I wanted to to ask you that again. I don't think I asked you, but we kind of touched on it before. Like, what was your biggest regret in retrospect, even including the informing? Like, maybe cut a better deal, maybe not cut a deal. I do talk to some informants that are looking back and they're like,